It's time for the MCTS experience with Mr. Orfe and Mr. Nash. Discover your passion and unlock your future.
Yes, Nash, we're back.
Ready to go.
Back and better than ever. We're returned to our long-form episode, and we're excited.
I missed it.
I got goosebumps.
Missed it.
I missed you, buddy.
Dude,
I missed producer Nick.
look at he's just a machine.
I missed our whole little podcast studio here.
Yeah, but you know what? 2020, we're going to be killing it.
So far, we are killing it. This year is going great. All right. We have got a great episode coming up. We got a student of the week. We have a delightful featured guest that I'll save for a surprise. Cool. And a little teacher tip coming up for you later. So stay tuned. A couple quick announcements before we get underway. General advisory meeting coming up at the end of this month. That's February 28th. And the CTE luncheon, February 23rd, CTE luncheon, one of my favorite events of the year.
It's an awesome event.
Yes, that's February 20th, Thursday, February 20th at noon here at the SIPEC Center. Food made by our students, desserts.
Themed. It's a theme. Don't let the theme out. If you're coming or you think you're coming, you're going to be wowed.
Yeah, if you want to know, sign up and come. By the way, if you have a person from your school, a teacher, a new counselor, somebody like that, a new child study team member, find out for us, okay? General advisory, just to be clear, is the 28th. I've just been handed a notice. I've just been handed a bulletin.
Yes.
It is the 28th. Back to the CTE luncheon, please bring somebody. Bring that person who might not be familiar with our school. It's a great, great time. What else? Tell us a little bit of Skills USA.
Well, we're able to tread through the local contests, the runoffs, where we cycle through each individual programs in which career area a guy or girl studying here, and we've got our best of our best that are going to represent Mercer County at Skills USA the entire month of March. So we're going to have some automotive competitions. We're going to have childcare. We're going to have the MRE challenge. That's on the first Thursday in the month of March, and then we jump to the Saturday competitions. It's the 14th, it's the 21st, it's the 28th. And that's where we're taking a gaggle of kids on each trip, whether it be criminalistics, architectural engineering, technical drawing, STEM, robotics, extemporaneous speaking. The list goes on and on. 111 contests. We do not have 111 students competing in 111 contests, but we have well over 50 contests that are being represented by Mercer County Technical Schools students. And if they win or podium, but if they win a gold medal, then they move to the big show, Nationals.
Nationals, baby.
Which is really cool. And so get ready. You're going to be seeing a lot of information being released on the website, through Instagram, throughout our Facebook, etc. And it's exciting. And then looking ahead even further down the timeline, I just booked our spring Drive One for Your School Mother's Day Saturday. We're going to be over at Haldeman Ford East Windsor. And again, it's the no-brainer fundraiser. Last fall, $2,500 in 6 hours. People just show up and drive a car. Again, I'm not going to blabber on about it. I'll hit you guys up when we get
You'll
closer.
hear about this again. Do watch the website for that information. And give us the date one more time, though.
It's Mother's Day Saturday, I believe the 9th, but we'll get a hard date on that. Producer Nick is working
the Saturday of Mother's Day weekend.
Saturday's Mother's Day weekend. That's when it's going to be.
Fair enough. Hey, the prom is coming up. Nash, will you go to prom with me?
Listen, I have a tuxedo with LEDs wired in them. Simic and I had these student girls going, told them we go to all the proms in Mercer County. They were truly fearful that me and Simic were going to show up dressed with LED tuxedos.
That would be a sight. That would be a sight.
I could do it, though.
The prom's May 22nd, by the way. And that, so it is the 9th for your thing there.
It is.
Prom is May 22nd. Good times. That is open to juniors and seniors, and that's share time students from Assunpink or SIPEC. Academy students from all three academies, as well as all of our share time kids. So
it's a really good time.
Juniors and seniors, yes. Tickets will go on sale soon.
Always do a theme. They love it.
I love it. Another thing, the ASFAB Career Exploration exam, March 16th. That exam can be taken by a student of any age, academy students. This is also, believe it or not, this can be a substitute for other graduation requirements. So consider this, even if you're not necessarily going to join the military. It might be worth your while to take that test. See your counselor.
It can't hurt. It can't hurt.
It can't hurt at all. See Mr. Simic or Ms. Fredetta for that. Also, what else is coming up? The HOSA State Conference. HOSA, Health Occupations Students of America. March 21st and 22nd. See Ms. Wurtzel at the Assunpink Center. She's their advisor for that program. What else is coming up, Mr. Nash?
Well, Cultural Day is going to happen on February 27th down at the Aspenk Center, which is a super fun event. You get to learn about everybody's different cultures and different foods and traditions. Very cool event.
Oh, yeah.
My dad bod happens to love Cultural Day because I go down there and tear it up on the buffet. It's a win-win-win. And following that, compliment.
Speaking of dad bod.
Speaking of dad bod, we're doing a Krispy Kreme fundraiser. Mr. Orfe, have you ever had Krispy Kremes that come right out of
the fresh ones that come right out of the thing?
Dude, I can knock them things back like it's nothing.
Change your life.
So we're doing it. Keep an eye out for that. I'm getting all excited about the donuts.
February 19th, Krispy Kreme. And CTE month, of course, is all month long. Last but not least, we've got summer camp registration coming up. Last year, we held these summer camps, and they were a big, big hit. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. This is open to...
Incredible program.
Really, really incredible. The kids had a great time. Registration opens February 28th. Check out the website to register, to apply, as well as more information about the camp.
Summer game changer.
Absolutely. Life-changing.
Oh.
Just like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Stop.
We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with a big show for you right after this.
And now it's time for Student of the Week.
Welcome back, everybody. We are very, very pleased to introduce you to our Student of the Week, Luz Romero. So hello. How are you, Luz?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, actually.
Tell us briefly a little bit about yourself, your home school, your little likes and dislikes, favorite ice cream. What are you into?
Yeah, people don't know the program. The bombshells we're going to drop on them. Luz is a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to West Windsor, Plainsboro High School North. I've been in the West Windsor, Plainsboro district my entire life, so I'm very accustomed to the culture and everyone there.
Yeah.
Little few things about me. I am obviously female, working in a very male-dominated industry, so I've always felt like that's a very interesting thing to talk about, personally.
Let's blow their minds and tell them what shop you're in.
Yeah, I'm in automobile collision repair technology.
Oh,
Wow.
man, this is awesome. This
Mind
is
blown. People are pulling over on the side of the road.
awesome. Screeching on their brakes. Whoa. Hey, maybe if they have a car accident.
Exactly,
we'll have more
I'm
customers
here.
for you in the
You're there
shop.
for it. You're there for it.
Luz has got paint all over her pants.
Yes.
Mr. Gagno, your teacher, talks about you all the time. He says you're a superstar in the class. You really do a great job. Tell us your favorite thing to do in that class, because you and I have talked about this off the air, but I know that you have specific things that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, well, obviously the whole car industry is a very wide field, and I think one of the main aspects that really pulled me into it was the kind of the art that's involved in cars. You know, obviously painting the cars, but also any custom work. I think that's fascinating. I've always loved art. I've been decent.
Yeah?
So I think it's always a good combination.
It's an outlet for you. I'm here.
Yeah, it really is. I think, sometimes going into the art industry is hard, but, if you can work on cars at the same time, I think it's incredible.
Yeah, you're marrying two things. Well, it's funny. It's really interesting and relevant that you said that. So, as you know, I was a kid who went here. We're West Windsor grads together, potential grads soon. But when I came here and taught auto shop, I noticed that there's a direct correlation between the graphic arts and marketing program that we have here and the students in automotive programs. They're very similar in their makeup and their thought process, and a lot of people aren't aware of that. But you've once again allowed that to resurface as a reality. Like, hey, I love art, I love creating, I love just expressing myself, and automobiles have a tendency to be able to do that, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit unaware that, you could do a whole lot with cars. Obviously there is a whole painting, but just a single color on a car. But I think, custom work is incredible. It makes your car look nicer, but it's also a great way to express yourself.
Very cool.
That's fantastic. So you're getting to foster some of that artistic side.
Yeah, and I think that's very exciting. I've always been, hoping to do something around that.
Are you planning on going right into this right after high school, right after graduation?
I do plan on going after the automobile world after high school. Hopefully, yeah.
Career-based employment.
Yeah.
So and what I'm about to say, but the listeners don't. So one of the biggest things that we always unearth, and again, you're modeling this genuinely, and this is all real. This is all you. This is all unscripted. Is we let people know that there's 4 key career pathways, and the first one is military. The second one is trade school. The third one is 2 or 4 year school. And the last one is career-based employment with upward mobility. And all 4 of those pathways yield to an adult life where you have freedom and ability to live on your own, provide for yourself, vacation, house, car, etc., and you're treading down that path upon graduation. So you're interviewing at shops right now, which is great. Take everybody through the first year in auto body to the second year on the differences of the type of the work that you do and how that all fits in. So a guy or girl listening thinking they want to come here, hey, what's it like?
Yeah, so the first year is obviously, you learn the basic hand tools more than anything. The processes are very lengthy. You got to be very precise. There's no shortcuts that you have to take. So it's very much the basics, how to apply them. And then the second year is applying them to, real people's cars. It's a real shop environment. So I think, second year is all about putting everything you learned in your first year into action.
Well, it's funny. I was coming through campus, I just grabbed. She was in the spray booth under a car, taping a car up.
Oh wow,
it's incredible.
Got it right in action.
I get it. It's like grabbing a cheetah in the wild and putting it down. So it's awesome.
Coming in the act.
I did. No, hey, that's what we're here for, and that's what you're stimulated by, and you know this. And there's so many people that are going to so many homeschools that have no idea, and you took the shot. How did you end up here, and what caused you to take the shot, to apply, to say, hey, I'm going to do this? I mean, you've talked about your love for cars, but the actual mechanics of getting here, do you remember those days?
Yeah, no, it's obviously, West Windsor Plainsboro was a very competitive school, education-wise, and I felt like I really wasn't going to end up pursuing a 2-year or 4-year education afterwards. So I really needed to, set a pathway after high school. So I thought one of those ways to do that is obviously learn a trade. This is what it's all about, learning a trade, being able to find that career-based employment. So I thought it was a great opportunity. They let me come here for a day.
Nice.
Learn what it was about. And
Did you tour Mr. Gagner's auto
I
collision?
did.
Only his class or other classes?
I tour guided only his class.
Very directed.
Give us your first impression of Gagner out of the gate. What were you like?
Like what?
This guy's nuts, or he's fun, or?
I mean, I walked in there and out of nowhere he saw me. And he's like, "Oh, it's a girl." And, he was very direct, but at the same time he was also very interested in what I had to offer, and I thought that was great. He really can be professional at the same time of him, joking around, but he's a
master teacher. The man's
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And if I may just pay you a compliment, Luz, there are students. First of all, I think you would have been very successful at a 4-year school. You're very smart and you're very well spoken, and you carry yourself very, very well. However, I love this decision. I love this path that you're on. Gagner has students, former students of his, that are out in the world making $140,000, $150,000 a year, $160,000, big money, mid 6 figures, and that's only 10 years in.
Yes.
You're going to walk out of here with just the skills that you have, and you're going to be making 40, 50
easily.
First year out.
Easily.
No college, no nothing, just with
No
a high
debt.
school diploma and no debt. You're not going to take on $200,000 in debt. By the time those kids get done with college, you're going to be way ahead of them on the life path.
And
it's great.
And what's cool, to your point, Mick, it's not what we love to always share and transmit to our listeners is that's not the only way. Meaning coming here, not every kid needs to come here to us, but so many. And what we're hoping this podcast can do is spur that person on, or that parent or that guidance counselor or that community person or whoever's listening. If you're thinking of a guy or girl that just really isn't satisfied with what direction they're going, just come up here and check us out. I mean, that's who we are in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Luz, thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Keep up the good work in class.
Thank you.
You're a great beacon for other students.
She's going to be coming with me to states. She's competing.
Skills USA?
21 counties in the state. Everybody sends their best. And there's a myriad of contests, but Luz is representing our auto collision repair program, and she's going against the best. And look forward to seeing how that works out. We'll give an update. Maybe you'll medal. Maybe you'll go to nationals.
Yeah, hopefully.
Good luck. Yeah, we're sending our best too, Luz Romero.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Luz Romero, your student of the week.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Armani from the Graphic Arts program, and you're listening to the MCTS Experience.
We don't stop learning after the bell rings. Guess what? It's time for teacher tips. Our teacher tip this week comes to us from cosmetology instructor extraordinaire, Janet Cash. Ms. Cash, what's your tip for everybody out there?
Okay, after shampooing and conditioning your hair, you should detangle it using a wide tooth comb starting from the ends to the scalp
And why do we do this?
to avoid breakage and pain.
Oh, yeah, of course, because if you start at the scalp, it might pull, it might hurt, right?
Exactly.
I gotcha. Thank you very much, Ms. Cash. That's a great tip.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Hey, you, come here. Check it out. They're in our school. They're in our community. They're around the corner. Welcome, our featured guest.
Welcome back, everybody. Our featured guest this time is a very, very special man. This is a former student, Matthew Festa.
Absolutely.
Architectural Engineering Design Program 2011. Is that right?
Correct.
Welcome, Matt. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much. Dave, let's talk a little bit about Matt Festa, but then let him take the reins.
Well, I'm going to go in the time machine. So you guys know the deal. I taught auto shop for 10 years, and I segued into being the career counselor and the CIE. And Matt was one of the first classes that I worked with in terms of getting to know the guys and girls throughout the MCTS family and campus at Assunpink, SciPec, et cetera. And I just remember him and a group of students that were phenomenal, super gifted at what you did, but at the same time, you had this real dry sense of humor. Horrendous, your teacher loved you, but at the same time, despised you guys as a team. It was like this super interesting metrics that was a passion but appreciation for Teenage Island. But Matt was very good. He always went to Skills. I remember being with you at Skills USA and competing on state level, and you won you went to nationals.
Yeah, I went to nationals that year, and ended up placing. I think it was 32nd in the nation, which is phenomenal for
it's a big
not
nation,
knowing much and going and learning architecture from 2 years of knowledge.
Yeah, and some of those schools you're going against, it's a 4-year program, and we don't do this at MCTS. But there's teachers that ramrod the same kid through over and over and over. Yeah, it's like everything. If you do it right, you do it pure, you get results like Matt Festa. If you want to try to engineer it, then I don't know how to do that because we don't do that here. But whatever, whatever. So it was neat. And so the neat part is Matt goes off the radar, and I'll let you take the story over. Meaning you graduated, you did Skills USA. You always had a relationship and a fond experience here, as well as once you even graduated. I think you judged skills.
Yeah, I would come back every year and help out Mr. H and the teachers that would take over after him and judge for skills. I mean, being there and prepping them is the best because they're learning from the person who actually got to go and
the insight you can provide.
The insight that I could provide to them and prepping them for what they're going to expect in the competition because it changes every year what they have to do. Mm-hmm. But knowing the ground rules and
what it's like.
Yeah, the foundation of what you need to do for this it's key because I was the first person in our school to go for this degree. So I had no idea what was going on. Mr. H had no idea what was going on. You were trying to figure out what's going on. It was like your first.
Yeah, it was my first year as being CIE.
So so we're all learning together and
that's awesome.
It was a blast.
It was a lot of fun. So actually, I was moving that summer when you went to nationals. So you went with Chef Engel and Miss Tandy, I believe.
No, who did we go?
Schroeder?
Schroeder, yeah.
Okay, cool. Mr. Schroeder, legacy.
Yes,
champion
absolutely.
teacher. So, all right, so there's the school bell. Everybody, yes, we're doing this in school NPR style. Who cares? Here's the good part. You graduate and take it from there because this story is probably one of the best stories I've heard.
And if I may, just to set the stage for the story Matt's about to tell, we just presented him with our Successful Graduate of the Year award at our mid-year general advisor meeting. So congratulations on that, Matt. And please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah,
tell us
your
story.
So after graduating from here, I went to a local architecture firm in Hamilton and worked full-time, 40 hours a week, doing typical alteration fit-outs. So taking a building and repurposing it for something new. So primarily it was in New York City and Philadelphia and the local cities because that's typically how it happens. You always have an empty building.
Okay, so you were working in Hamilton full-time.
Mm-hmm.
You graduated high school, graduated West, graduated Mercer County Technical Schools, and you jump in because the water's fine.
Correct. So I had a drafting degree. So what do you do with a drafting degree? You work for an architecture firm, right?
Love it.
So I found a firm. My buddy was actually working there and got me the job. And then I just went off from there. I was working there for about a year. And I wasn't getting tired of it, but I knew I wanted to do more. So I was like, what can I do next? So for architecture, to get your degree and your license, you have to go to a 5-year or 4 and 2, which is 4 years of undergrad, 2 years of master's, or you do a 5-year undergrad. And that has to be through an accredited school, and there's a whole process to do. So I was like, all right, let me go back to school. So I ended up going to Mercer County Community College to work on my associates. And with going to Mercer County Technical Schools, I had an upper hand because I already had a degree. So I was able to skip the first year of their...
Because of the articulation agreement we have with Mercer,
Exactly.
you already had some of the credits.
I already had some of the credits, so I was able to skip the first year. So all I had to do is pretty much my prereqs. So like your Englishes, your gym, and all that fun stuff.
Because you need gym to be an architect.
Well, listen, you got to have a well-rounded student experience.
Yeah, I got to do laps and things. It's always fun. And then the second year I was able to, or the next semester I was able to actually take my core classes. So I was able to do, drafting, which everything was on the computer now, which was great because we learned that.
And you originally learned Haranguis's method of teaching back then was you guys did all pen and paper initially.
Correct. Yeah, your first year is you don't touch the computers. You can look at them and say
that's
hi to
awesome.
them.
Classic
but,
Haranguis.
You can't touch them.
You can say hi to them.
You literally can't touch them.
They're there collecting dust, and that's it.
But you learn. But I'm hearing and understanding in my age and experience, and you're super gifted at what you do. That basis, did it pay dividends all through?
Yes. So basically, learning the hand drafting skill is old school, and not a lot of schools or a lot of people teach it anymore because the way technology is going, everybody wants to go on the computer. But just knowing the basics. After I went to Mercer County, I went to college at University of Oklahoma to get my degree there to finish it out. They teach the same way as what Mr. H was teaching, where your first year is all about the foundation. So it's hand drafting. It's all about line weight. It's all about how do you achieve what you're trying to accomplish in your mind, but doing it pencil to paper, because the computer is great, but it doesn't give you your full concept, because only you know your concept. The computer is only a tool. It's not an actual creator for you. And that was a lot of misconception with industry, especially with school and students going in industry, is they think the computer do everything for them.
Got it.
So learning hand drafting and learning hand skills and hand rendering and all those types of things, it allows you to get a jump start above most students because they're learning from brand new, right? So with that, I was able to skip the first 2 years. So the whole foundation core, I already had 3
From
years.
MCTS.
Plus I had job experience because I already worked in the field.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And we never, we didn't know that. Like when we talked and you and I connected, and keep going with your story. But that's just so unique for you to enter a career. That wasn't a job. I mean, that was career.
No, it was career.
Work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really powerful.
And then from there, if you don't mind me jumping in on a little bit of your story, you got a scholarship to University of Oklahoma?
Yeah. So once again, I had to make my own way through college. So I had to figure out a way to get through that. So I was sticking to the books. Trying to get my straight A's in college, and then also working full time at the architecture firm that I was at. So I was working during the day and then going to school at night. And then there was one class I had to take during the day, so I would take a half day at work and then go. My boss was very nice with letting me do what I needed to do to get my career going. I don't know, I ended up getting a 3.95 at at Mercer County, and when I applied to different schools, I was seeing, who gave me the best scholarship money, what was the best package that I was offered, because once again, I had to pay for it myself, so I had to figure out how the finances are going to work with also trying to get my career and my education going.
So you were reverse engineering where you wanted to be.
By factors, right?
Wow.
So what's good about architecture is, since you have to go to an accredited school, there's not many of them. So it depends. Do you want to pay $60,000 a year? Or do you want to pay $30,000 a year? So like the East Coast and West Coast is your higher money because it's where they are, right? And a lot of people forget about the Central United States.
The flyover component, definitely.
So I figured out there. I mean, I had family in Arkansas, so it wasn't really like stretching too much. I could go there if I needed to visit my family.
System. Yep.
So I applied to Oklahoma, and then they ended up giving me $9,000 a year, and then in-state tuition. So
Oh.
in-state tuition is like 13 grand there, right?
Peanuts
So
compared to the East Coast, West Coast.
yeah, so in-state tuition was great. So I was able to,
$4,000 a year.
pretty much $4,000 a year for the first year, and then
Oh my God.
and then they went to regular tuition, which was about 22, but still cheaper than what.
Sure, you
That's-
factored it all through.
So I ended up getting that, and jump started me. So skipping the first 2.5 years of architecture school at Oklahoma, I only had 2.5 years to go. So I didn't have to go to college that long.
Was your mindset different? Like, I'm thinking about where you were at 21, 23, working in a firm for a year and a half, knocking out still working, knocking out your gen ed and prerequisites. When you reflect back on the time when you were in Oklahoma with other students in the class, people that were gifted in your skill set, were you further ahead? Was the professor?
Oh,
you
absolutely.
clicking?
I mean, it depended on the professor because they all have their favorites, and
Sure,
it's
yeah, yeah. The dynamics.
The dynamics are different. But what was good about having that knowledge base was I was able to connect with the professors because a lot of them are already architects or practicing architects in the field, right?
Yeah.
Or they've done that and they went to the more academic sector,
Yeah,
right?
they got passion to teach and they fell in love with it.
So they knew they didn't have to teach me the basics, as in, okay, that's a wall.
Sure.
That's that's
Well, no, but there's people you have to teach that
well,
to.
like that's the first 2 years is they're learning.
wall.
They're learning like how do you build a wall? What's the makeup of a wall? What's the
What's the
density?
code?
Like
What's
what's
the
the code?
requirements?
Like they had nothing because obviously that's what they're coming to college for. Is they're trying to figure this out. Where I already had the basics of code. I already knew how things worked. I knew how things went together because I went on site. So I already had that knowledge of what students didn't have, right?
Plus, you were probably a little bit more mature than some of the
Yeah,
other students.
absolutely,
You had
right,
lived
yeah.
on, you
So I
lived
went-
on your own, like you were a grown up essentially.
Essentially, yeah. There was like 3 other guys in my class that were about this. They didn't really do the same route that I did, but they were there too. They were older, trying to get
More practicing.
They went to college to get their degree. They went to college to party and have
Yeah,
fun,
yeah, no,
which is great. But
They didn't want the experience. You guys were there for the nuts and bolts to execute, and it comes from the basis of a CTE launch point, like the springboard was.
yeah, exactly.
Your drive to come to the school, but once you were here, what Haringas unlocked in you and the program unlocked in you propelled you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just to bring this all full circle, and I know as they say in the business, Matt has a hard out, so we need to get him out of here. But Matt took all of this. He is now the BIM manager for Bard RAO in Athens. Is that right?
Yep.
Am I saying it right?
Yep.
They're a consulting engineering firm. And he has gone on to hire our own kids on
All right, so
internships.
take
and
us through
CIA
what you
and
do
stuff
in
like
Midtown,
that.
and then take us through your architectural firm that you started and owned, which is absolutely incredible.
That's crazy.
Yes. So I live in Long Island now, so I commute every day to Midtown Manhattan on 30th and Madison. So right by the Empire State Building. You can see it from our office, which is nice. So yeah, I started out in working part-time with them while I was in school at Oklahoma. So I was working remotely doing, CAD stuff, BIM support.
What's BIM support, so anybody doesn't know?
Yeah, so BIM is building information modeling. So that's what industries basically is. It's taking building elements and putting an ID tag to them, and then every time you model something in, after we have a beep.
Yeah, it's all right. It's the real deal. It's the real
So
deal.
after you build an element within the model, it comes an ID tag, and then you have reference points, and everything
Got it.
comes together.
So is it the structure's built, created? It's a way to.
It's a living, breathing model. So like once you do one thing, it messes with something else, right?
Got
So
it.
you can't do one thing and not expect a chain reaction.
Repercussion.
So back in the day, everything was drawn by hand. You didn't like it, you erased it, redrew it.
Oh, so the BIM allows these point chronologically in the design.
Exactly. So if you need to change something real quickly, you can change it by taking this wall out and redoing the wall, or you can remodel it, and then everybody else gets to see that. So it's not just architecture. So when in industry, we share our models through BIM, which is
Yes.
how the industry works. So Autodesk has the BIM 360, which is their cloud-based server.
So when you make a change, the plumber, the HVAC, the sheetrock, everybody
sees it.
sees it.
So when the architect modifies a room and things change, my company that I work for is mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, right? So they're taking the architecture's plans and using them as a background, and then they're putting their infrastructure in. So they're putting where the lights go, where the outlets go, et cetera. They're overlaying on top of that. So when the architect modifies something, we need that model as soon as possible because we're also trying to fit the same deadline they are. by submitting our plans to get filed and get built. So building information modeling is, it's a crucial part. So being support for that is basically helping the trades get their job done. So if there's a problem with the model, or the models aren't working, or the background's not working, or their families that you put into the Revit isn't working, that's our job. We fix it.
And that's what you're doing now.
That's what I'm doing now. So I'm managing models in the New York City office.
Holy cow. How many people do work for you?
So how the CAD department works is we have the director that's in Boston in our headquarters, and then we have 9 people spread out throughout the United States. So we have like Chicago office, we have Miami office, we have Tampa office, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Boston, Charlotte. We just opened a Charlotte office. So we have pretty much in the whole, Eastern and somewhere in the Western. We're trying to get to California and Texas and stuff, but you have to get a project to do that.
Gradual.
So basically, we all work together. So if there's something that needs to get done, no matter what office you're in, we manage. But we typically like to have people in each office, or in like bigger offices. So when you have big meetings, we can go represent the BIM department with the client, explaining how we want things set up, and then we'll work with the architect's BIM manager on coming up with a cohesive, which we call a BIM execution plan, which is how are we going to do this? How is everybody going to work together? What are our strategies for the BIM modeling?
It's from a kid from Hamilton West to experience and be sub 10 years.
Sub 10 years.
Yeah, sub 10 years. 9 years ago in high school. Wow. One word, wow. Incredible. So in addition to being the BIM manager for this company in Midtown Manhattan, you started your own architectural firm?
Correct, yes. So my fellow student of mine, not student of mine, but fellow buddy.
Classmate.
Him and I, we grew up together, friends since like 3rd grade.
Wow.
And you were in Harenge's class with this kid?
Exactly, yeah. So we were
Harenge's is shaking his fist in the sky. Oh, they never leave me.
Yeah, we were a handful, but we were fun.
Nah, you guys are good. You guys were great students, for real.
So we went to West together, and then we went to this program together. He ended up going to the civil engineering route, where I went to architecture. He ended up graduating from Virginia Tech. He's now working at Dewberry in D.C. as a civil engineer. And a couple of years ago, with a fellow classmate that I actually met her at Mercer County in architecture class, we were like, let's just do a company.
Let's just do that, Orfe.
Yeah.
Hey, Orfe, let's just do a company.
Hey, Dave, I've been thinking we should do a company. Let's start a company.
All right, so it's an architectural firm?
Yeah, so we do architectural and design.
What's the name of the company? Shameless plug.
Stowe and Naus.
Stowe and Naus.
Website?
Yes.
Say it.
It's stoweandnaus.com.
Stoa and Naus. Spell it for us.
STOANAOS.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
For all your architectural.
What kind of projects do you homeowner? What do you
Yeah, we do a lot
Residential?
of residential currently. We did some commercial. We did like a mid-rise apartment complex, but it's not built yet. It's still in design. We do pretty much residential because I have a couple contacts with contractors, so they would find clients that I need a new house or I'm building a house. Do you know an architect? And that's basically how it started. I had a couple contractor buddies who needed an architect, and they knew my background, so I ended up helping them
Fellow
out.
MCTS grads, I'm sure. Fellow MCTS.
Unbelievable.
I love it.
Yeah, so it kind of blew up from there. So it's a small firm, but we do what we can, right? And then a couple of years ago, we got busy for a summer and ended up hiring a couple of students from this program. I needed a couple interns because obviously I can't do everything myself. I have to.
Well, you're in Midtown Manhattan grinding.
So I needed someone closer to the job sites. They were pretty much all in here because that's where I grew up. So that's where all the contractors are. So I needed a student that was able to, help me out and be close to the site if there was
Eyes
a problem.
on site, proficiency.
So I ended up hiring 2 students. They worked until they went back to
NJIT. And
yeah.
Neat.
That's awesome. Matt, we really appreciate you getting our kids on board and all that you've done and coming here today. Thank you. Please continue to keep in touch with us.
Listen, if you need, I'm being serious, whatever comes up in the future, I know that it will be. It's seeing you and hearing your story. I hope this gets to parents, guidance counselors, aunts, uncles, whoever. So people think that MCTS is something that's stuck in 1970, 1980. You're living proof, breathing proof, sitting here with us that that's not the case.
Yeah.
And
No, the world
who
is
was your-
changing. I mean,
Who was your counselor back at West?
who's my counselor? Nitty? Mr. Nitty?
Yeah,
Mr. Nitty.
Mr.
Yes,
Nitty.
Mr.
Just
Nitty.
producer Nick shaking his head emphatically. Very excited.
Yeah, he was my golf coach, too.
Golf coach.
Also a Hamilton West graduate, shaking his head vigorously.
Yeah, Mr. Nitty.
Was Miss Morosco there when you were there?
She might have been at
No,
Snyder
I
at
don't
that
think so.
point.
Okay, that's fine. Hey,
Anyway, Matt, we just wanted to say congratulations in all your success, and judging from everything you've told us, this is only the tip of the iceberg. You got a big lot more successes coming your way. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Your 2020 Successful Graduate of the Year and our featured guest this week, Matthew Festa.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up another exciting episode of the MCTS Experience. Nash, how do you feel?
I couldn't believe the awesome insight that we received in this episode, and I mean Matt Festa. I mean, unreal.
What a great story.
Unreal story.
What a great story. The kid has drive, right? Not a kid. The man has
Well,
drive.
it's just to me, it's just that snapshot of a CTE guy or girl that we keep seeing bubbling up through the MCTS family.
Yeah.
And we just want the outside world to know about it. And that's just one of hundreds of kids.
That's right.
incredible.
That's one of thousands of different career pathways.
Absolutely.
And great stories of people who took CTE and made it work. for
Absolutely.
them. So that's a great segue into big thanks to Matt Festa, our featured guest. Our student of the week, Luz Romero. What a great kid. And she's killing it, right? You said
Well,
she's,
I would imagine that Luz will come back in 5 or 7 years telling us that she owns her own automotive collision repair facility. She works at NJM as an adjuster, and she manages a team of people. I mean, that's what I see coming out of her. I mean, incredible.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, thank you so much to our teacher tip giver, Mrs. Cash from Cosmetology.
Cash money.
That lady is money. Cash
money.
Yes. You want to make a lot of money, go ahead and apply to that cosmetology program.
Does everybody know that the cosmetology program is $20,000 plus on the outside world?
That's right.
Free if your son or daughter comes here.
You go to Paul Mitchell or Great Clips or one of those places.
You get
you're like,
punched
I
in
want
the
to get
face.
my license.
Punched in the face.
It's a punch in the face.
It is.
Here, free.
Free if you're a tax-paying citizen in Mercer County. Mercer County resident, come to her.
Everybody head to that website, mcts.edu. Programs are filling up fast. Many are full already.
Time of the year, or tell everybody what happens this time of the year.
Oh, man. We got
Mad dash for cash.
Yep.
Mad dash for cash.
Mad dash for cash. I got calls from parents and counselors. Hey, can you please give me a little spot in this program? Also, there's information about our summer camps. The portal to apply, not really applying, sign up for the summer camps. 6th, 7th, 8th graders. We want those middle school kids to get a
Nash
little
girls
taste
are
of this
coming.
stuff early.
Nash
They
girls.
came last year. They had a
They
blast.
loved it.
I love it, too.
Loved it.
I love those kids. They're great kids
Thank
you got
you.
there, Nash.
Thank you. I'll let them listen to this.
Doing a fine job.
It's nothing to do with me. It's all Mrs. Nash.
Is that so?
Yeah.
I bet you're a pretty good dad, buddy. Don't sell yourself
Thank you.
short.
Thank you.
Yeah, so check out the summer camps. Lots of great opportunities there. All the information on our website. Of course, please like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Check out our YouTube channel. Lots of great videos always up there, and new ones coming your way very, very soon. Please share this podcast with a friend. Review us on Spotify and iTunes,
Google
Play, all those good places. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to say thank you to the great Nick MacGyver Sagowski. Grinding every day in here, putting it out, putting out that content.
He's the man behind the curtain.
We love him. On behalf of Nick and all of our guests, Luz and Matt and Mrs. Cash, and the legendary Dave Nash, my partner in crime, this is Mr. Orfe reminding you to discover your passion
And unlock your future.